day everyone, welcome to our video. Today, we will be discussing the historical foundation of education, how education started, how it changed through time, and how different thinkers influence the way we learn today. I will begin by introducing what education means and the early ideas that shape its foundation. Education is more than just a classroom lesson. It is a process of teaching and learning that happens formally in schools and informally through daily life and social interactions. Education involves passing on a society's culture, values, and knowledge to the next generation. It helps shape behavior, prepares young people for adulthood, and guides them in understanding their role in society. Before moving deeper into historical foundations, it is important to introduce one of the key figures in modern educational thought. But before that, do you know who John Dewey is? So John Dewey was American philosopher, psychologist, and educator. He is known as the father of progressive education. His idea influenced how education evolved in 20th century. Now let's talk about Dewey's contribution to the history of education. Dewey believed that learning should be active and based on real experiences. His philosophy helped shift education away from traditional memorization toward hands-on, reflective, and child-centered learning. He also emphasized that education is a lifelong process, famously saying, "Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself."
In key period in educational history, we have 7 periods. The first one is a primitive society. Develop the ability of the group to survive and strengthen unity within the community. This means that early society focused on teaching skills like help the whole group stay alive. People learned to work together, which created strong bonds and cooperation within the community. The next is to focus the practical life skills such as hunting, fishing, food gathering, and the oral sharing stories, myth, songs, poem, and dances. Education during this time was very practical. Learn essential survival skills like hunting food, catching fish, and gathering plants. They also passed down knowledge and tradition through spoken stories, myths, and song and dances. Since there were written language yet. And next is learning was guided by parents. There were no formal schools, so children learned directly from the adults. Parents taught daily survival skills, elder passed with the wisdom and traditional, and spiritual leaders taught beliefs, the ritual and cultural values. Next is highlight and importance of informal education in passing down essential skills and cultural values. In education happened natural through daily life, observation, and participation. These informal ways of learning help children to observe important skill and understand their culture, ensuring that traditional were preserved across generation. The next is the Greek period. First is the concept of school started. This means that during the Greek era, formal schooling as we know it today began, structured by education with the teachers and subject developed in this period. Next is Athens, the Sparta were prominent cities in ancient Greece. Athens and Spartans were the most influential city-states, each known as the district style of education. Athens for intellectual learning and Sparta of military training. Next is Athenian curriculum. Reading, writing, arithmetic, drama, music, physical education, literature, and poetry. Students in Athens studied a wide range of subjects, Their education focused on the both academic and the art, aiming develop intelligent, creative, and physical fit individuals. Next is promoted the importance of being a well-rounded educated person. Athens believed the education should develop every aspect of the person mind, body, and character. The goal was to produce citizens who could think, speak, act responsibility in society. Next is Spartan curriculum, drill, military song, and tactics. In Sparta, education focused almost entirely on preparing individual for war. Children were trained physically and mentally for military life through exercise, drills, and discipline. Next is Spartan culture centered on war. They also believed that military raised loyal and obedient citizen. Sparta valued strength, loyalty, and obedience. They believed that strict military training created disciplined citizens who would protect the state without question. Next is the Roman period. First, foster civic responsibility and prepare individuals for roles in governance and the military during both the Republic and Empire. Roman education aimed to create responsible citizens who could serve the government and the army. Education prepared people to contribute to the function of the state. Included reading, writing, arithmetic, Roman law, philosophy, and legal studies. The Roman curriculum covered by academic skills plus subject needed for the public life, such as law and philosophy. Understanding the law of the 12 tables was essential for participating in society. Next is the Arabic. First is religious commitment was threatened. This means during the Arabic civilization, education was closely connected to Islam. People studied religious teaching, which helped them defend their faith. Along with religion, learners also made the great progress in mathematics, medicine, and science. These fields were highly developed during this era. Next is the curriculum, reading, writing, religious, literature, scientific studies. The curriculum was broad and well balanced. Learners studied basic skills like reading and writing, explore religious texts, and engage deeply in scientific studies. This combination created a rich educational environment that promoted intellectual growth. Next is introduction of Arabic numerals and advancement in computation. One of the most important contributions of the Arabic world was the introduction of Arabic numerals, which made mathematical computation easier and more efficient. This innovation eventually spread across the world and remains the basis of modern mathematics today. Next is medieval period. First is strengthened religious commitment through knowledge and ritual practice. The medieval period, education was closely tied to Christianity and it to aim to strengthen people's religious faith. Through learners and participating in religious rituals, individuals become more deeply connected to their spiritual belief. As a tool to maintain stability in society, by teaching individuals the value, rules, and expectation of the time, Schools help preserve the existing social structure. Next is prepare the individual for role appropriate to their place in society. Schools train people for the specific roles they were expected to fulfill, whether in the church, the military skills craft, or everyday community life. Education ensured that individuals were ready to contribute to society in meaningful ways. Next is the Renaissance, cultivation of humanist ideals through mastery of Greek and Latin classic. During the Renaissance, education focused on developing humanist values which emphasize human potential, reason, and dignity. To achieve this, learners study the classical works of Greek and Latin authors, believing that this text contains the highest form of knowledge and wisdom. Next is curriculum, Latin and Greek language studies, classical literature, poetry, and arts. Schools taught subject that reflects that classical tradition. Students learn Greek and Latin language, studied ancient literature, and practice poetry and the fine arts. This helps them appreciate the beauty, creativity, and intellectual heritage of classical civilization. Next is emphasize the humanist educators and literary training. Humanists and teachers played an important role, providing instruction that encourage critical thinking, eloquent writing, and moral development. Literary training was highly valued because it helps students express themselves clearly and become well-educated individuals. Next is reformation, strengthening commitment to a specific religious denomination. During the Reformation, education was used to defend loyalty to a particular Christian group, such as Protestant or Catholic. Schools taught doctrines that aligned with the belief of this denomination. Next is curriculum, Latin, Greek, classical literature, poetry, and art. School continue to teach classical subjects such as Latin, Greek, literature, and poetry, and art. Even though the Reformation was religious in nature, it still valued classical education as part of developing well-rounded individuals. Next is vernacular elementary schools. Elementary schools began teaching in local language instead of Latin, making education accessible to ordinary people. This shift allowed more children from common families to receive basic education. Next is advance the commitment to universal education by promoting literacy among the masses. The Reformers believed that everyone should be able to read, not just the elite. The belief pushed societies toward creating broader education and opportunities for all citizens. Next is marked the beginning of organized school system with the supervision to maintaining doctrinal conformity. The Reformation led to the creation of more structured school system. These schools were supervised to ensure that teaching followed the correct religious belief, ensuring uniformity and preventing doctrinal errors.
History of education in the Philippines. The history of Philippine education reflects the country's long experience with colonization and its continuous effort to adapt and reform its educational system. Before 1946, the systems of Spain and the United States strongly shaped Filipino education. After independence, reforms continued to adjust to national development needs. Number 1. Pre-colonial period. Before foreign influence, education in the Philippines was informal, community-based, and practical. Children learned essential vocational skills, cultural traditions, and community responsibilities from parents or tribal leaders. Knowledge, stories, songs, medicine, customs was transmitted through oral tradition. Some groups used native writing systems like baybayin, though other syllabaries also existed. Overall, education was experiential, informal, and deeply integrated with daily life and culture. Second, Spanish period, 1565 to 1898. Spain introduced formal, organized education with a strong religious and cultural agenda. Religious orders established the earliest school to promote Christianity and Spanish culture. The first schools and university is Universidad de San Ignacio were founded. Separate schools existed for boys and girls, colegios for boys, beaterios for girls. Introduction of printing, enabling the production of early Filipino texts. Example is Doctrina Christiana. The Educational Decree of 1863 established a free public school system for both boys and girls. Education expanded rapidly, leading to increased literacy. Impact: this period produced the Ilustrados, a class of educated Filipinos, including Jose Rizal and Marcelo H. del Pilar, who became leaders of the propaganda movement and later inspired the revolution. Third is the First Philippine Republic, 1898 to 1901. After Spain's defeat, the First Philippine Republic attempted to build a national education system. Previously, Spanish-run schools were reopened in 1898. New institutions were founded, including the Burgos Institute, First Law School, Academia Militar, and the Literary University of the Philippines. The Malolos Constitution required free and compulsory public education. However, the Philippine-American War disrupted many of these early efforts. The fourth one is American period, 1899 to 1946. The Americans created a new, centralized, secular public education system that emphasized English and practical skills. Major contributions. In 1899, American soldiers first served as teachers. 1901, Act No. 74 established a centralized public school system and created Philippine Normal School for teacher training. Thomas cites, over 1,000 American teachers arrived in 1901 to 1902 to establish schools nationwide. Development of high schools and specialized schools for arts, trades, and agriculture. University of the Philippines, founded in 1908. Gabaldon Act, 1907, funded durable school buildings for expanding enrollment. Curriculum revisions addressed growing economic demands, strengthening vocational and career-oriented training. Impact: American reforms made education widespread, standardized, secular, and English language-based, strongly influencing the modern Philippine system.
Now let's move on to Third Republic. After the United States decolonized our country in 1947 and gets all back the authority to the government of the Philippines, President Manuel Rojas issued an executive order in which renamed the Department of Instruction into Department of Education. For the Fourth Republic, In 1972, the Department of Education got renamed again, but this time into the name of Department of Education and Culture, or DEX. In 1973, former President Marcos Sr. sets three fundamental aims for Philippine education. These are, number 1, foster love of country, second, to teach the duties of citizenship, and lastly, to develop moral character, self-discipline, and technical efficiency. In 1978, the Department of Education and Culture was reconstructed into Ministry of Education and Culture. The Education Act of 1982 is a comprehensive act provided for an integrated of education that covered both formal and non-formal education across all levels, which aims for a quality education. The key provisions of Act 1972 are, number 1, voluntary accreditations for schools and upgraded obligations for teachers and administrators. Second, government also gives financial assistance to private school. Third, this legislation renamed the department again into Ministry of Education, Culture, and Sports. For the Fifth Republic, the start of 1987's Constitution, it mandates that the elementary education compulsory for all children. The Ministry of Education, Culture, and Sports was brought back into Department of Education, Culture, and Sports again. The following year of 1988 to 1989 is the start of free education for secondary school, or also known as high school. In 1991, the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports was divided into three separate agencies. And these are, number 1, CHED, or also known as Commission on Higher Education, in which handles the tertiary education. 2, TESDA, or also known as Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, was created to supervise non-degree technical vocational programs. Third, DECS, or Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, was responsible for elementary and secondary education. In 2001, the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports was renamed back again into Department of Education. The Education for All, or EFA, 2015 National Action Plan was implemented in 2006 with the central goal of achieving functional literacy for all Filipinos. Now, for the recent years, in this time the introduction of K-12 system. K-12 system, or also known as Kinder to Grade 12 system, in which aims to increase the quality education of students. The government formally adopted the K-642 basic education system, which consists of 1 year in kindergarten, 6 years of elementary, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. The K-12 system, with its 2 years of senior high school, now prepares students for these paths directly. The Department of Education has a following vision, mission, and core values.
And once again,
I am Kital Bendo.
I am Laika Avila.
I am Cyrus Vargas.
And I am Saika Yalde.
And this is our lesson about historical foundation of education. Bye!